outside, I'm outside in the universe, and behind me, below me, is the Earth. So I'm up there, way out there in the universe. And I'm doing this because I want to say to you that the sky is not the limit, okay? There's more beyond the sky, okay? You can go as high as you want to go and do whatever you want to do in life. Once you put your mind to it and you focus on it, it's like you can do so many things. We just get caught up into things that limit us, our minds, we get our minds trapped and we get limited to what we think we can do. This is why people ask me, that's why I wrote the book in the beginning, right? Because I like to focus on my inner me and my spiritual part, my consciousness, because that is the core of you building you and you moving on, you finding your purpose for being here. Certainly we got to be here more for just to go to school every day or go to work every day. I mean, we weren't born to come into this life to just work. That's not what our life is about, so we got to find our purpose. So you got to find you first. You got to break away from whatever it is that you have been taught most of your life, because most of our life we've been taught to put on blinders and live in this world that don't really believe. I mean, it's make believe. That's why I love the movie The Matrix, because it gave you that reality that, hey, there is two different types of world out there, I mean, you can look and close your eyes and just stay where you are going this way, or you can open your eyes and you can see a vast majority of things out there, so we get caught up into just one thing. So that's why I'm out here, okay? I'm out here out in the universe, just to remind you, those that forget, there's more to life than what you have inside your circle, what's inside your box. Things that you know and things that you think you know, that's great. And you may think that's all it is to know, but just want to remind you, there's more to know than what you have inside your circle, what you have inside your box. There's more to know there. There's more to learn, in order for you to grow, to become a better you, not somebody else, but to become a better you. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I decided to go over this thing I have called the Rule of 72. Okay, now before I start that, most of you guys, if you don't know, I teach people how to make money in the foreign exchange industry. Okay, all right, Forex, we call it Forex for short. And I teach folks how to come into that industry and make a little money. Right, so what I'm going to do today is go over the money game itself, something that's really, really vital for you to know about how money works. So let me share my screen with you. And let me share my screen. And I'm going to shoot them down here, which I'm already here. And you guys should be able to see my screen right now. And I am going to shoot over to this presentation right here. Right here, called the Rule of 72. Now, I'm going to talk about the Rule of 72, and I want you to really pay attention because it's affecting you whether you know it or not. If you never heard of the Rule of 72, it's probably really, really, really affecting you. All right, I spoke about this to people several times. I've been talking about this for several years, and some people actually hear me and they listen and take action on it. Some people actually hear me, they listen and say, I understand, I got it, but don't do anything about it. They don't understand. So I want you, 2022, to hear me, and I want you to take action on what I'm about to show you, okay? It is going to cost you something. It's going to cost you your financial future if you don't pay attention, okay? If you never learn it and act on it. So let me show you what this is. All right, it's called the rule of 72. And the number 72 is just the number that's used for calculation to estimate the progress of interest that you're making on money. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So always remember the number 72, and it's a simple rule of thumb, right, to guide your financial future. If you remember anything about this presentation, and I'm only going to show this part of the presentation, all right, make sure that it is the rule of 72. Let me explain to you how it works, okay? Pay attention to this. You're going to take an interest rate that you're receiving on your money. Really important. Whether the money is in a savings account, does not matter. Whether it's in a checking account, does not matter. A CD, money market, a 401k, deferred comp, thrift savings, IRA, does not matter where your money is located. You're going to take the interest rate that you're receiving on that money, that yearly interest rate they give you, it's called APR, right? You're going to take that interest rate and you're going to divide it into the number 72. That's why it's called the rule of 72. And the answer is the approximate number of years it takes for your money to double. This is the banger right here. The answer that you get when you divide that number into 72, that is the approximate number of years it takes for your money to double. Nothing more, nothing less. People would try and complicate it and try and give you all these other algorithms and stuff and say you got to have a bachelor's and the master's and the doctorate and the master's on top of a master's to understand interest. And I'm telling you, it's just this simple. Okay, it really is just this simple. I want you to think about this. The average person works approximately 48 years in his or her lifetime. So let's say working from age 18 to age 66, no college, just working straight through. You hit 18, bang, you out the house, mom, dad, peace, I'm going, I'm working, and you work to 66. Average lifetime, okay? Let's see how this works in the real world. Now, when you think about it, most people place all their money, because we have our blinders on, and we place our money in a bank, any bank USA. It does not matter. You can say your bank is better than someone else's. Great, it doesn't matter. Any bank USA. And most banks, if you look it up, look at your bank, look at your savings, look at your checking account, and even Google and see what you find for the average bank savings or checking account. Most banks give an interest rate for the year less than 1%, right? Less than 1% for the year. So with that being true, and if that's true, you know, if you divide 1 into 72, that's going to be 72 years, right? But if you divide 2, let's say I gave them a break and say, oh, we're getting more than 1%. Let's divide 2 into 72. Well, that's going to be 36 times. And that means approximately every 36 years, your money's going to double. All right, so that means every dollar you have sitting in the bank will turn into $2 every 36 years. All right, does this get you excited or totally angry? All right, think about this. Every dollar you have sitting in the bank would take 36 years at 2%. If you got less than 1%, which most average American does, in a bank savings or checking, it takes 72 years for that money to double. Now, for illustration purposes, I want to show you something and teach you something. And let's say let's give them a break, and let's say you can get 3% from them. You find a CD, a money market, or some IRA at the bank that's going to be paying you 3% on your money. We guarantee it. Okay, that's what they put in writing. They guarantee it. Let's say you can find that. Okay, let's move on. If you find that, you're going to use the same formula. You can say, John, but it's different. No, I want you to use the same formula. I want you to take that 3, divide it into 72, and when you do that, you're going to get 24. And what does that mean? That means every 24 years, your money will double. Is that plain and simple? There's costs, there's all this other kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, approximately every 24 years, your money's going to double. So now let me show you what happens with money. So now I'm going to grant you $1,000. I'm going to give you $1,000 to sit into an account. I want you to deposit this money into an account. Don't do anything, don't withdraw it, just let it sit there. Let me show you what happens over time. That same money that you put into this account at 3%, the first year at $1,000, right? And 24 years later, when it doubles, it's going to double to 2,000. And 24 years later, which would be at 48, it'd be $4,000. All right. Now this should get you really, really angry. Or you could be like, hey, it was $1,000 when I put it in and took it out, it was $4,000. That's a good deal. All right. And some people would be really excited about that. I mean, just think about you putting money in at 18, as soon as you finish high school. And then when you retired at 66, you got $4,000. So this is what you're going to get when you leave your money there. You and the bank are happy. You'd be like, look, I gave him 1,000, I got 4 back. I 4 times my money, I'm good. The banks are happy because they kept your money all these years, and you know they did what they do with the banks. Okay, so you give them 1,000, you get back 4. Now, what if you took your interest rate and you say, hey, John, do you know any place else? And I say, hey, well, you can go to this place, blah, 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 and get 6% on your money. Let's see what happens when you divide 6% in there. Now, you would think you would go from 1,000 went to 4,000, right? So if I'm going from 3% to 6%, that means that 4,000 should be $8,000, right? Because I'm doubling my interest rate from 3% to 6%. So my $4,000 should now be $8,000. Does that make sense? I want you to think about that. Does that make sense? At 3%, if it would be $4,000, then at 6%, it should be $8,000. Now let me show you what happens. You divide 6 into 72, that means 12 times. Every 12 years, your money's going to double. Now in the past, you used to get that in ING. I'm not sure about it anymore. You used to get that in some CDs. You know, you used to be able to get some interest rate like that. I'm not sure about today in 2022, but let me show you what the numbers look like. That same $1,000, the first year, it turns to $1,000. 12 years later, it turns to $2,000. 12 years later, at 24, it's $4,000. 12 years later, at 36, it's $8,000. 12 years later, at 48, it's $16,000. The same amount of time from year 1 to 48 that we originally started off. Now you doubled your interest rate, right? But you got 4 times the amount of money. 4 times the amount. Before you had $4,000 at year 48. Now you have $16,000. You should be getting excited about that. That's 6%. You went from 3% to 6%. So I want you to think about this. If they're giving you less than 1% on your money, and they're doing this, making this on your money, how do you feel about that? Right? Less than 1% is going to take your money 72 years to double. All right, we're just over half of that. So now that $1,000, you're probably at $1,500. And they're at $16,000. They cut you a check for, I'm sorry, $1,500. They cut you a check for $1,500 and they keep the difference. All right, you got to take control of your money. If you don't take control of your money, somebody else will. Now let's take this just one more step further. Let's say we're going to double from 6%, which is $16,000, to 12%. What do you think it should be? Makes sense that it would go to 32,000, right? 16, 32. Let's see what happens. Divide 12 into 72, that's 6 times. Every 6 years, your money's going to double. Where can you get the 12%? Some mutual funds, the Forex market, which I'm going to talk to you about, Bitcoin, crypto, right? Real estate, properties, you know, there's some risk in there, but the money's secure and the properties are insured. All right, so you can get 12% on your money. All right, by the way, I'm not a licensed commodities trade advisor. I'm not a licensed broker. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm just plain on me, right? But I'm telling you, from my experience, I'm saying that I know that I can get 12% on my money. All right, let me put it that way. Okay, so let me show you what happens when it doubles every 6 years. So and the money's doubling every 6 years. The same $1,000 that we originally started off with, that when you leave your money with one of the institutions, you get $4,000 at the end of 48 years when you're 66. This is what happens when you take charge of your own life. Year 1 is going to be 1,000. Year 6, it'll be 2,000. Year 12, it'll be 4,000. Year 18, it'll be 8,000. Year 24, it'll be 16,000, just like the last slide. Now, year 30 is going to go to $32,000. In year 30, we still got more time to go. What happens with the rest of the years? Year 36, it goes to 64,000. Year 42, it goes to 128,000. Year 48, it goes to $256,000. Now, for those of you that might have been happy with that $4,000 in the beginning, I want to say, are you still happy that the bank gave you that $4,000 check? All right, because this is where they have their money at. All right, they take $256,000, knock you off with $4,000, and make $252,000 off of whose money? If you said yours, you're absolutely right. This is how real money works. The bank gets this and more. Personal loans, car loans, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, second mortgages, business loans, real estate, hedge funds, Forex, stock market, and more. I mean, it's just out there, and they're just doing it and doing it and doing it. And we, like robots, just go to the bank because we were taught in school, when you make some money, when you get a job, you need to open up a bank savings or checking account. We were taught by people without financial knowledge. They may have academic knowledge and may have earned their degree to become a teacher or professor, but they are not giving you good financial advice. Good financial advice is not to go put your money someplace where it's going to take 72 years for your money to double. Find out and do it the bank still. Okay, so always remember this, the rule of 72. This is why I teach people how to get PIPs. This is why I've been talking about this forever, right? I just had a $20 special where people was getting started for $20, right? They were just getting started for $20, right? I'm gonna have another one coming up where you'll be able to get started for $50, right? $50 to learn how you can take money and instead of getting 1% and 2% per year, what if you can get 1% per week, right? 1% per month, 1% per day. Can you imagine what those numbers would look like for you and your family? 1% per day. We were talking 1% per year when I showed you those numbers, $256,000 per year. But if you learn how to get some PIPs in your life, and not these PIPs right here, right? This is Glass Knight and the PIPs. I ain't talking about these guys, a great group, right? Great group, but not talking about them. You know, if you learn how to get some PIPs in your life, then you can learn how to explode your money. I teach you how to get PIPs. You normally 20 to 30 PIPs a day. This is an example, for example purposes only, not financial advice, of how you can get PIPs in your life. Now, when we're trying to get PIPs, we use something called lot sizes that allows us to leverage ourselves. And in the beginning, when you start learning, you're going to use a lot size of 0.01. That 0.01 means that's 10%, 10 cents for each PIP that you collect. What I'm going to do is ask you to say, hey, only collect 20 PIPs daily. That's all. Just collect 20 PIPs daily. And know what that's going to do for you? Each day, that's going to give you $2. So let's say you had a $20 account that you started with, a $100 account that you started with. Let's say $100, right? $100 you start off with, and you collected $2 a day, and your account grew $2 a day from $100 to $102 to $104 to $106 each day. Okay, and you might be saying, well, $2 is not a lot of money. No, it's not life-changing, right? But I want you to take that same $100 down to your bank, right? Come back the next day and see if you have $102 in it, right? I want you to think about this. Take $100 to the bank, deposit it into a savings account, come back the next day and see if you have $102, right? They're gonna look at you like you're crazy, right? Because it's not gonna happen, all right? I'm gonna show you how you can take $100 and each day make $2 off of it. It's not much, right? But you're gonna start learning the skill. Because once you start learning that skill, that $2 will turn into $10 a week, will turn into $40 for the month. So your same $100 account went from $100 to $140 in a month's time. So let's say you start to make more money, it goes to $140, $150, it goes up to $200, right? And as you start getting more, you can use your lot size. Instead of making 0.01 on your lot size, you can say, hey, I'm gonna push this lot size up to 0.1 because I got more money in my account now. So now you're gonna still be getting the same pips every day, 20 pips every day, 20 pips every day, 20 pips every day, 20 pips every day. And now that you moved your lot size up, it's gonna be worth $1 per pip. So now those same 20 pips that you was collecting earlier at 10 cents was $2, now there's $20 profit for the day. $20 profit for the day. Guess what? 5 days a week, you got $100 for the week. 4 weeks in the month, you got $400. It's that simple. I tell you, this stuff is like, it's not rocket science. People complicate it to throw you off. And if they keep you chasing shiny objects around, you won't focus on the simplest thing. The simplest thing is just being consistent and leveraging yourself. Because as you start to build that count up, you done got $400 this month, $400 next month, $400 next month, you get more money and you can take your lot size and go from 0.1 to 0.5. And 0.5 is going to get you $100 every day. And if you watch any of my other videos, you know I focus on teaching people how to get $100 a day. Because I know that $100 a day will get you $500 for the week, will get you $2,000 for the month, and I know that will pay most people's rent or mortgage. I just know. And see, and the rent and the mortgage is for most people, their biggest expense. So if I can take care of that expense for you, then the other stuff will be easier for you to manage. And as you start to make more money and you become flowing with money coming in extra per month, that's how you get on the road to setting yourself financially free. Because the next stage, once you keep going at $2,000 a month, right, as you get more money into your account, now you could do a 1.00, which means every pip of the same 20 pips that you've been collecting for the past months, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, the past year, now each pip is going to be worth $10. And those same 20 pips is going to be $200. So that means $200 a day you're going to collect. $1,000 for the week, $4,000 for the month. It's just that simple, okay? All you have to do is focus on learning the skill. I'm going to teach you how to trade manually. I'm going to teach you how to trade just by watching. I'm going to close this because I'm going to teach you how to make sense out of this market right here as soon as it pops up. All right, because this market right here that I'm about to show you is the foreign exchange market, meaning foreign, other countries, right? Other countries exchanging currencies. So what we do, to give you an example of what it's like imagine you being here in America and you take a vacation over to Mexico. When you go over to Mexico, you get to the airport or you get to your hotel, you're going to give them, let's say, $100 in American dollars. Say, I need to exchange this for Mexican pesos, right? So when you give them that $100, they're going to give you $150 back in Mexican pesos because our dollar is worth more than the Mexican peso. Okay, does that make sense? Our dollar is worth more, so they're going to give you 150 pesos back for you to spend while you're there in Mexico. So you just made an exchange through that exchange, in a sense, extra $50. But there was money, there was a fee, there was something being charged for that, and there was an exchange rate, and someone got paid off of that. What we do, that same exchange rate that happened, that $50 difference, we show people how to do that right here from home on the laptop, which I am right now, or on my cell phone, which I have there with Instagram. We show you how to do that same exchange rate by changing the American dollar to the peso, the Great Britain pound to the euro dollar, the Great Britain pound to the Australian dollar, the US dollar to the New Zealand dollar. We show you how to do that same exchange back and forth, all right, with dollars without leaving your home. So as the market is going up and down, you can be making money. As this thing with Russia and Ukraine is going on, the market exchanges. Somebody's dollar currency is going to go up because of this Russian-Ukraine thing. Somebody's dollar is going to go shooting down because of this Russian-Ukraine thing. So as those things are happening, people that have knowledge of the market that I was just talking to you about, the rule of 72, they're focusing on getting 1%, 2%, 3%, 5% per day, while you have your money sitting in the bank trying to get 1% per year. All right, so you got to understand $1 today is worth more than $1 in the future. So if you flip your money as much as you can, this is the key to getting wealthy. I did not know this all my life. I learned this late in life. So I'm so excited about it. This is why I teach people, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, everybody. All right, that's Harold Melvin, the Blue Notes used to sing. Gotta wake up, guys. All right, you can believe me, you don't have to believe me, but it's happening in front of your face, whether you know it or not. All right, you're involved in the foreign exchange industry, whether you know it or not. Every time you buy a car, you buy a Toyota, you buy a Mercedes, you buy a BMW, you buy a Hyundai, you buy a Honda, all right, you buy Audi, you buy a Lexus. All these are foreign vehicles that are stationed in another country, but money has to be exchanged, to American dollars back and forth in order for transactions to happen. Okay, anytime you buy some designer clothes from some designer somewhere else, a lot of things you look that's made in China, that's made in Taiwan, that's made somewhere else, money had to be exchanged. Those exchanges are making money for people, and this is what we're doing. So this is why I'm teaching people how to make $100 a day. Because when you make $100 a day, you make $500 a week, you make $2,000 for the month, I know that could change somebody's life. Part-time, not running out to another job, not driving 15, 20, 30 minutes to another part-time job, not working overtime at your current job, coming home, being in the room with your family or being in a separate room, but being at home and just making extra money. All right, so that's pretty much what I wanted to go over today. I hope you guys got something from this, because it's, to me, it's very, very valuable. And I just wish that as I was coming up that someone, somewhere, somehow had explained this to me, because I just didn't know. Nobody in my family knew about it. Nobody in my family talked about it. We had blinders on coming up. We all had blinders on. And as you see, I have my ankh here, which has my third eye. It's like I'm awakened and I see things. So that's why I wrote the book, How to Master This Game Called Money. I wrote the book specifically to teach someone with very minimum financial education how to get themselves financially free. All right, so I wrote 2 books, How to Master This Game Called Money, that's one, and In the Beginning, part 1. Part 2 will be coming out soon. It's all spiritual, it's consciousness, and it's teaching you about what you're reading. It's teaching you about the book that you're reading, where the book came from. Part 2 is going to just really blow your mind away once I get into part 2. All right, so part 1 is just a setup for you so you can see and get you to wake up. But part 2 is going to just be even out of control. It's going to be out of the universe. All right, so that's it for the day, guys. I just wanted to come and share that with you. And I hope you guys have a blessed evening. It is February the 26th. And wake up. Those of you that are awake, stay woke. And if you want to learn how to make $100 a day, you want to get on the plan, I'll show you. I'll teach you how to trade manually. I'll also teach you how to trade, for those of you that are busy, with trade ideas that we give you so that you can copy and paste. And 2, I'll teach you how to trade with robots that trade for you so you don't have to worry about being on the charts. Your robots take the trades and stuff for you, okay? So I'll teach you that stuff. All you have to do is just jump on and be in the game. All right, so this is it. Thank you for watching. And I'm putting this on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you like the information that I just gave you, yeah, feel free to subscribe, all right? I'm just starting. I want to get some subscribers up, and subscribe and like the video. Thank you very much. Peace and blessings. Have a good night. Bye-bye.